It's called a visa integrity fee, and it costs $250. It's for anyone visiting the United States that needs a visa, so not part of the visa waiver program or the ESTAs. Most European visitors don't need it, but there'll be large numbers of students and other countries where you still need a visa to visit the United States for leisure or business, and now you got to stump up $250. But what is this fee for? Think of it as being almost good behavior deposit. According to the government, if you are good and you don't break the rules and you leave on time, you'll get the money back. The only problem is there's no mechanism in place. No one knows how it's going to work. So you'll pay your $250, you'll visit the US, you'll go home, and no one can tell you how you get your money back. This is all very unwelcome for the US tourism industry for one simple reason. Numbers are already lower because the perception is the United States is not very welcoming at the moment because of everything to do with immigration, tourists, difficulties at airports, border controls. Now, if you add in a $250 fee, come and visit the United States, well, many of the 11 million visas each year, you've got to ask, how many simply won't bother coming?
Wally, this is a very interesting conversation, and I want to get your take before I just drop all my views on this.
One of the first things that come to mind is that when people are trying to go on vacation, generally speaking, there's always like a serious consideration for budgets. When they're trying to visit a country, visit your family, at least for most people that I know. And then for a lot of people that this is also going to affect where they're coming from, a country where it's likely that their money value is not going to be as valuable as a dollar. This is going to definitely put a lot of strain on their bank account. And for me, that's from the, the visiting sites perspective. But I'm not sure what the US goal is, honestly. This is something I can't really figure out because, like you said, there are already 11 million visas that are issued yearly. That means that, as far, for example, with Nigeria, it costs like $160 for a visa. So you want to add $160 plus $250, and it's without interest. It's not like, oh, they'll tell you after you, when you're leaving, they're going to give you interest on your money. It's just free money for the United States like that. For me, I'm not really sure what the intention is. Again, and the United States does make money from tourism. It's not like, oh, the United States is losing money from tourism, right? So a lot of people, they travel from different parts of the world, they spend their money here, and I just to enjoy like what the United States has to offer. So I think I definitely agree with what they said in the video. It doesn't show that the US is actually friendly right now.
Yes, I kind of agree with you on that, Wally, on the fact that it doesn't present the US as very welcoming because of the additional burden of the fee. And interestingly, we already know the countries that this is going to affect. Although it's not new, this update is not new, but it's interesting what this update has led to. It's interesting to see that we're talking about $250 initially as like a good behavior fee, like he put it, to another amount of $10,000 to $15,000 as bond.
Okay.
So it's like from where to where, like, what is this? What is the US trying to achieve with all this restriction, additional burden of what? Of bond? I would like to share an additional video with you just to show you the update on the visa bond.
Welcome back to Fox 5 News at noon. People planning a visit to the United States might have to pony up a lot more dough under a new State Department program asking some travelers for a $15,000 bond. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
President Trump is ramping up his immigration crackdown with a new policy targeting visitors who overstay their visas. Under the new pilot program, the State Department will require bonds of up to $15,000 for business or tourist visas. Travelers would have to pay the money up front, then they'll get it back if they leave before their visas expire. It's part of an ongoing effort to reduce the number of foreigners in the U.S. illegally, including a revamp of the HB-1 business visa.
We should make sure that we are really, that we know that the people that are being brought over at certain levels are really are commensurate with what those levels should be.
Countries in the visa waiver program are exempt from the new policy, but there are only 40, and they're mostly in Europe. Now, some governments are scrambling to sign up, hoping to make travel less expensive for their citizens.
Sí, yo creo que está bueno.
I think it's good. It speeds up the process. For me personally, it makes it easier to enter the United States to travel.
But it comes during a foreign tourism slump, with the president's new immigration policies leading some visitors to rethink their American vacations. Transatlantic airfares are down significantly this summer, and travel from Canada and Mexico fell almost 20%.
With everything going on in the U.S., I feel like a lot of Canadians kind of want to stay home.
I'll be going to the U.S. No. I'll be going to the Caribbean or something, but never the U.S. No.
The State Department says the new program will take effect August 20th.
So, Wally, you see what I just said, right? From $250 to $15,000. Like, what happened to $250?
Maybe next month it'll be $100,000.
Because I don't get it. Like, you know the interesting part. We decided to talk about this $250, right? When we first decided to talk about it, and when we're about to talk about it, we already have this $15,000 in addition. Like, it's like, what's the update? So, with the current policies, like, it has to be a live update because we cannot record this update anymore. It has to be a live update because the update is changing. It's changing. It has changed such that by the time we post this video, maybe it will be 100,000, like Wally mentioned. We don't know. But the issue is the impact. For me, one of the impacts is FIFA World Cup is around the corner. I feel like this is going to impact the number of people that can come to the US for the FIFA World Cup because it's going to be implemented according to the report. FIFA World Cup is next year, 2026, right? And so how is this going to affect people coming from outside Europe? Because the interesting part is the $250 discussion and the $15,000 bond does not affect Europeans. Countries in Europe does not affect. So we're talking about countries in Africa, in Asia, in the Middle East. And there are a lot of countries from this part of the world coming in for World Cup. The players are going to come for World Cup. The citizens of some of their countries are going to want to come to the World Cup. And so already the report says that one of the airlines recorded 20% decline in international travel to the US.
Exactly.
So that's one airline. There are many other airlines that will also report some percentage decrease in people coming in for summer. And I also think that it's going to impact World Cup significantly. Maybe FIFA might have to discuss it. I'm just talking about football. There are other areas that people watching this video are thinking this will impact, right? But I'm already thinking how it will impact FIFA World Cup because that's like the biggest event that's going to happen soon within a year. And so I'm just throwing it out there and I'm wondering if anyone has any opinion on how this will not affect World Cup. Please share. But Wale, what do you think?
I think it's the first thing that I said the first time. I'm confused. I'm not really sure what the goal is here. Because if it's just to prevent people who want to overstay, this is definitely going to be very difficult to prevent anyone who wants to overstay their visa because most of the people who enter the US illegally came in through the southern border. So even those who are overstaying, I'm pretty sure the main reason why they don't talk about the number, the administration, this is my opinion now, why they don't talk about the number of people who overstay their visa is because that's not really significant. That doesn't really affect the immigration discussion, right? So I'm not sure what the goal is because, again, the U.S. is making money from immigration, from tourism rather. This is my wild guess that the U.S. even makes more money from denying visas rather than approving them. These are strictly anecdotal from those that I know. Even in my own case, I remember that, when I wanted to visit, I've tried to visit the U.S. twice and my visas were denied. And I can imagine even me that I have the funds, the finances. I was actually living in Europe at the time and I have the finances to be able to take care of myself. I was denied twice, not to even mention like every other person that is in.
I was also denied visa when I applied for my first tourist visa. I was denied. So I agree with you 100%. There's a lot of.
So definitely this is going to discourage a lot of people from even just applying because what's the point? You applied, now so you come and pay extra $15,000 again. Unfortunately, this will likely push visitors to countries that the US might not really want people to be able to go to, for example, a country like China. So personally, I want like the US to be able to win in this kind of category, to be able to have good relationships with countries all over the world so that we can be the leader. The dollar can go far, for example. And for me, that's just the way I'm thinking about it. I really, really want the United States to be able to win in this kind of situation. But again, for me, I don't know.
I think for me, as a soccer fan, like we say it in America, right? As a soccer fan, I want to be able to see a lot of people in the US for the games. I want to see packed stadium. The Club World Cup some games they have packed stadium. A lot of the games they have packed stadiums, right?
Yeah.
But that was for club. That's for club, and so you can imagine if a lot of countries cannot have their people over in the US for the World Cup, it will be a shame. So yeah, that's something I'm really looking forward and hoping that there'll be a way to maybe delay the implementation, find another way to manage this situation to enable a lot of people coming to the US to see the World Cup. I'll be going to the stadium to see a couple of matches.
I would definitely also see a couple of matches. But what do you think, all of you that are watching us? Thank you so much. If you are watched up to this point of the video, please like, share, subscribe. We really want to be able to interact with you. And thank you so much for watching.
All right then.